The sun's not coming up. We're all gonna die.
Oh, the night is so long and it's so very cold.
Don't worry, the sun's going to come back very soon.
Oh, forget it. It's never gonna happen.
What's life gonna be like without the sun?
What about our crops? We'll starve to death.
There's always been a longest night. There's got to be something we can do. Birds love birds. Light loves...
Light!
Yes! We must build a fire.
I'll get the wood. I'll get the kindling.
It'll never be bright enough.
Yes,
Oh,
build
no.
it up. Make the fire bigger. The fire will see us through the night. The light will see the light. I know it'll come. Let's call out to it. Let's call to the sun. Let's beg it to come back. When I count to 3, let's all yell, wake up, sun. 1, 2, 3.
Wake up, sun.
Look there on the horizon. You can see a little cusp of it. Let's call to it again. This time in Swedish, it's Good morgen solen. When I count to 3. 1, 2, 3.
Good morgen, solen.
Look, it's coming up a little more, but there's not enough of us. We need more voices, stronger voices. Where can we find them? Count to 3. Can you say good morning, sun in Russian? 2. Norwood. Norwood, are you there? We heard you could say good morning, sun in Russian. Could you do that for me when I count to 3 and see if we can bring it up? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, more. Andover, can you say good morning, sun in French when I count to 3? Are you there? 1, 2, 3. It's going to come. I know it's going to come. Andover, in Czechoslovakian. Can you say it in Czech? 1, 2, 3.
Dobré ráno,
Waltham, in Hindi. I know you can do it. Waltham, when I count to 3. Good morning, sun in Hindi. 1, 2, 3.
Ucha Suraj.
Winthrop, you have to do it for us and bring the sun up. Say it in Albanian. 1, 2, 3. It was great. One more, Boston, in Creole. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Caraba. Let's see, is it coming up? Is the sun coming? Here, it's coming. Yeah, you did it. Oh, thank you. When everyone works together, we brought it back. And that's what people all over the world have tried to do at this time of year. Because every single year, the days get shorter and shorter, and the nights grow longer and longer. Here in the northern hemisphere. In the southern, it's the exact opposite. But as those days shrunk, we all got scared. I mean, what would happen if they just kept shrinking and the nights took over? So all over this planet, in temperate climates, places where we have seasons, people have always acknowledged this time of year, the solstice, sometimes with fear, sometimes with fun, but they've always noticed it. I want to introduce you to 3 characters who all have very different vantage points, ways of seeing this time of the year. Come, meet them now. Good morning, or afternoon, as the case may be, and welcome to Science is Facts. I'm your host, Dr. Know-It-All, and I explain everything. Today, we will be investigating the winter solstice. The shortest day and longest night of the calendar year represents the relationship between the Earth's axis and its rotation around the sun. We need props. Sonny! Here we have Sonny.
Lucas?
Sonny for right now, dear. Sonny, thank you for the sunshine. So What?
Stop singing.
I'm so underappreciated. The sun here shines. And the earth, Earthy!
My name is Sydney.
Earthy, for this experiment, thank you, dear. The earth rotates in an orbit around the sun. Oh, stop! Look at this. One side is away from the sun in perpetual cold and dark, and the other side, well, it's too darn hot. And so the earth must rotate on its own axis, going around and around and around. Very nice. Day and night, day. Oh, stop! Look at that. Now, if the earth rotated like that, at that angle, the days and the nights would be the same amount of time, would they not?
Yes, they would.
I mean, life would be so sweet on the sunny. But some days are longer than others. Now, you know that season where you tend to stay out late, making a lot of noise, getting dirty, calling your friends to play outrageous games until late? I believe it's called summer. You know that season, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Summertime and the living. But then there's times like now, that if you were to stay an hour late in school pursuing knowledge, which would give you facts, which is science, when you leave, it's already dark, is it not?
Yes.
Ah, now there's a reason for that. And that reason is evil spirits. That's why it gets dark. The day's getting shorter and the night's getting longer. Because the earth being taken over by evil spirits and trolls. And you can thank your lucky stars we here in the British Isles are doing the right thing, or you wouldn't have no light left. You got to say the right incantations. You got to make a great bonfire to keep the spirits away. And you got to mend your fences. I don't mean mend your fences, I mean you got to go to anyone you done wrong to. A bad word, an evil look, and say you're sorry. So all the people can stand together against the darkness and stop it. But I'll tell you what else I do at this time. When the shortest day comes, learn this from a Scotsman. I build a big bonfire, and I put coals in it, make them burn and hot. And I call me children to me. Sonny, bring me the water from the special creek. Now Sonny brings them and I take. I'm saying a blessing on the water. And then when those coals are red hot, at the eyes of wild animals, we throw them in. Scissors, don't it, Sonny?
Lucas.
Sonny. And we got a fine brew of fire and water. And with this, I keep me children safe by putting a bit of it on. Protects them through the evil of the dark, long night.
Does this sweet stuff really keep me safe?
Aye. Eh, my friend, please, you're too serious about this. Why do you fret so? You should celebrate at this time of year. Party, party, party. Aye, easy for you to be saying. Warmer down there in Italy. And this is why our brains are more nimble. If the earth is upside down, why shouldn't we be? We should follow its model. Life is good. Fruit, cake, drink. Oh, I call him my servant. I tell you a secret. In this household, here in Rome, during this time of Saturnalia, I am really the servant. But this one time each year, I get to be the master. I give it the orders instead of take. It is so sweet to give it the orders. And I get to go to the temple, and there I can worship Saturn, the god of agriculture. Solinwika, the god who protects our soldiers. Uventes, the god of young manhood. Aja, aja. And ops. No, I did not say oops.
I'm a trained servant. I'm not to spoil things. Ops, the goddess of plenty. Plenty. Ha. Bring me plenty, Sonny. Sonny. Please, that represents pagan beliefs. Multiple gods, fun-making. All of it is simply a paranormal response to the retreating daylight. A para what? A para what? We, the scientific community, has conducted numerous studies about the effect of retreating sunlight, which has clearly affected both of you. I should like to return to the facts of solstice, if you don't mind. I do. Facts and truth, they ain't got nothing to do with each other. Possibly, but I shall maintain my lot with facts. Now, before I was so rudely interrupted, I was attempting to explain that the Earth rotates on its own axis. Please show us, dear. Oh, not that much. The polar ice caps would melt at 23.5 degrees. Excellent! And it spins upon that axis as it goes around Sunny here.
Lucas?
Sunny, dear. Oh, look at that! It's summertime in where?
North America.
Because it is closest to the sun, but it continues around and around and around and around. Oh, the other side, what's closest to you, dear?
Australia.
Oh, so it's summer in Australia. When it's summer in Australia, look where it's dark and cold. Where we are. It represents the time of the winter solstice, when we are furthest away from Sunny. Sunny. And so it goes on and on and on. Hold it there a gold darn minute. You're saying this all goes on with or without us? That we needn't pull out the evergreen and the holly and place them all around to remind us of eternal life? You're saying we needn't burn the Yule log all night and sit with our brethren awaiting that morning sun? You're saying we needn't fear the evil spirits or the trolls that come with the longest night? Are you saying we needn't wake up the earth with our songs and dances? Are you saying we needn't build new Grange to note the winter solstice or Stonehenge for the summer? Are you saying? Yes, that is what I'm saying. Well, I don't believe you. Bene, listen, Domina. Just in case what you're saying is true, do me a favor. We're having too good of a time bringing the light back here through Saturnalia. The prisoners, they get out of jail, and the merchants, they're giving away togas and silverware. I stand myself in line 2-3 times. And the children, oh, they're so happy. They get little dolls of clay and wax and delicious pudding. Oh, times are very good. So listen, you're keeping your gloomy science facts to yourself. And up there, all that hocus pocus with bad spirits. Because right now, servant, I need more cakes. Boy, were those weird characters. And in terms of the winter solstice, that is really just the tip of the iceberg. Get it? That was a joke. Winter solstice, tip of the iceberg. Forget it. People all over the world have always noticed the solstice. From the ancient Peruvians to the Chumash Indians who live on the coast of California. Now, they didn't have a calendar like we do and said, oh, look, here comes the winter solstice. So how did they know every year? Because these people, ancient peoples, they didn't live in shopping malls. They didn't live inside. They lived with nature. And they noticed those days as they shrunk and those nights as they lengthened. And they had special ways of always telling when the solstice was. Like the ancient Peruvians would build temples. And in those temples, they would have very special windows, low down. And as the sun came up in the winter, it would rise lower and it would set lower in the sky. And on that day, that it would rise at the lowest point and set at the lowest point, it would shine into that specially made window. And then from that special day on, it would start to ascend If it continued to descend, it was the end of the world as they knew it. And so they gave sacrifice. They made ritual, ornate ritual, to make sure that that sun would change its course. And the Chumash, they would note that day of the year, that shortest day, not in a temple, but in a different structure where you could still see exactly where the sun hit at the lowest point and know that at the next day, it would hit higher than that. And that everything would come back. All over the world, people celebrated. In China, they had a holiday called Dongqi, bringing in the winter. It was a family celebration. It began as a harvest festival. And so people often said prayers to trees, rocks. Children would collect special rocks for good luck. They would have little black lines running through them. Those would be the best. Families, they would clean their homes. They would invite all the relatives. They would pay their debts. Just like the Yorkshiremen who mended fences. As a matter of fact, we have a group here today who's going to show us some of the other traditions from the British Isles that have to do with the winter. But in China, during this time, families would get together. They would set a place for relatives who couldn't be there. And they would offer them this special soup. Ha-ha, tang yun. A friend of mine told me that these rice balls were very, very dense and that if you had false teeth, you shouldn't eat them. I said, how silly. If whole families are gathering to eat these things, they must be easy to eat and very good.
Room, brave gallants all. Pray give us room to rhyme. We have come to show activity upon this winter time. Activity of youth, activity of age. Such activity as you've never seen on stage.
In comes I, Old Father Christmas. Welcome or welcome not. I hope Old Father Christmas will never be forgot. Christmas comes but once a year, but when it comes, it brings good cheer. Sippin' roast beef, plum pudding, fine ale, and mince pie. Who likes that better than I? Step in, Jenny Jack, I say, and boldly clear the way.
In comes I, happy Jenny Jack, with my husband and family on my back. My family's big, but I am small. I brought my broom to sweep your hall. Roast beefs, plum pudding, strong ale, and mince pie. Who like that better than Old Father Christmas and I? Step in, fool, and show the people sport and play. Before tonight, we go away.
My father killed a great fat hog, and this you may plainly see. But alas, I have lost the bladder from his hurdy-gurdy geek.
In comes I, giant Flamavore! Fee, fi, fum. Ready to fight you all. So I says, come, shut up. If I could meet St. George here, I'd put my spear head through his ear! Over my in comes I, the hobby horse, a dragon you shall see. A wild worm for to flee. Come in, thou dragon stout, and take thy compass round about.
Stand on head, stand on feet. I want meat for to eat. I am the dragon. Here are my claws. I am the dragon. Here are my jaws.
Go dragon! Go dragon!
St. George shall come, and die by swords, which circle round his neck. As winter dies, so shall he die, and rise again like spring.
In come I, St. Georgina! From Britain did I spring. I'll fight the dragon bold. My wonders to begin. I'll clip his wings, he shall not fly. I'll cut him down, or else I die.
Who's he who seeks the dragon's blood and calls so angry and so loud? With my long teeth and scurvy jaw, I'll rip the flesh right off her nose.
Stand off, thou dragon bold, or by my sword thou die. I'll pierce thy body full of holes and make thy buttons fly.
Never!
Go, Georgina! First comes Christmas.
again like spring. Dance the sword dance now for me.
John Brown, the best quack doctor in this town. I am the doctor from Spain, to fetch the dead to life again.
Can you cure my daughter?
Of course I can. Take these here, my pills. They cure the young, the old, the hot, the cold, the living, and the dead. What's the matter here?
A woman's dead 7 minutes. Can you cure her?
If she's been dead 7 years, I can cure her. Sure. Take a box of my pills.
Yeah, right.
Take 2 today. Shh. Take 1 tonight. Take 1 in the morning. And swallow the box at dinner time. And if I'm not done yet. And if the box doesn't cure you, I assure you, the lid will.
The lid?
I didn't make them. Didn't make them.
Hey, and you're from Spain, not around here.
What's wrong?
That's odd.
Oh, no wonder you call it fake.
Definitely not a lot.
Tony, get away.
Yeah, but I make more than you do. So
Get your money back.
Stand aside. This woman's not dead, but in a trance. We'll rise her up and have a dance.
Sure, that'll do it.
Oh. Good morning, gentlemen. Asleep and I have been. I've had such a sleep as the likes have never seen. But now I am awake, alive unto this day. Our dancer shall have a dance, and the doctor take his pay.
Bravo!
Our play is done. We must be gone. We stay no longer here. but we wish you all, both great and small, a happy, bright new year.
We got a question from Andover. Hopbrook dancers, here's your question.
How many miles is the sun from the Earth during the winter solstice?
I'm really glad you asked them. The doctor here can answer.
98 million.
Any other opinions?
We'll use that.
Fool, would you like to venture? You guys didn't measure it?
98.
90.5. I think.
It's 98.5 million miles.
You know what? We would really have to measure, but you know it's further than during the summer. Oh, hey, I think I got the moral of the story. Never trust an HMO, but do let laughter cheer your woes. What do you think, you guys? And then the winter will always come alive again. Thank you, you guys. And now you're going to hear a story that's very reflective of the play you just saw. It happened one winter in old mining days, one winter when the sun would not come. Our songs, they'd awaken the coldest of skies, they'd arise to the mountains so high. It happened one winter of old, to freeze us the wind was so bold. No dance song or stories were shared tween folk. They stayed alone and cold. The legend of Unicorn Mountain. When the wind comes in this story, I need your help. Because it's the wind that said it was going to take over the earth on this winter. So when the wind begins, I'll point to you. And if you could just make cold, biting, bitter, frigid sounds, it would help. Let's try it once. I'll point, this to make it louder, this to make it softer, and this to end. Ready? Oh, that sounds great. Louder? Oh. Off. Exquisite. The legend of Unicorn Mountain. And I know it's just like Mama told me. When the days grow short and the night grows long and cold covers the earth like a great blanket, it's then that the unicorn comes to the mouth of its cave up there in the mountain. With its powerful hind legs, it kicks the bitter winds of winter and turns them into the soft breezes of spring. Marvelous. It is marvelous, cow. Mama told me the story every single year. Could be. Not could be, chicken. It's for sure. I know it is. That's why Mama made me this scarf. And she embroidered the unicorn right here on the end with its one long, beautiful horn. Baby stuff, baby. It is not baby stuff, goat. I know it's true. Mama wouldn't have told me if it wasn't true.
Gemma, girl! Gemma! Quit talking to the beasts. Take them into the barn. There's work to be done.
Jema's favorite place to be was with the animals. Well, she brought her three best friends, the cow, the goat, and the chicken, from the field, and she brought them into the barn, which was their home. The wind is picking up fast this year.
Mostly cold.
It is cold, cow, but don't worry. I know the unicorn will kick it into spring. Mama told me so. It could be. No, for sure, chicken. And goat, don't you dare say baby stuff. I know it's for real. I'll be back to see you later. And Jema wrapped the scarf around her neck. It was the last thing her mother had made before she died. almost a year ago. She pushed out the barn door, shut it tightly. But as she started to walk towards the house, I chill the night. I kill the leaf. I freeze the earth. I stop belief. Wind, is that you? You might be cold, but don't worry. The unicorn will come to the mouth of its cave. It'll kick you into spring, I know it. And Jama walked into the door of her family's home. Her two brothers were getting ready for the winter celebration. I mean, there was so much to do, but in the very middle of the winter, everybody would gather in the town hall, and they would sing songs that would warm the air. They would do special dances with bells on, and that would wake the earth, and they would do the play of St. George and the Dragon. Her brothers were getting ready for it. Please, please, Tom Jeffrey, let me be in it. I could be the tail of St. George's dragon, the one that kills him. I can threaten him. I can be fierce. I could swing all around. You're too small. Yeah, girls aren't allowed to do it, and you're too tiny. It's only for us in the middle, when things get coldest. Then we make the play. Please, please. Her father walked in.
Quit making nonsense. There's work to be done. You'll have time to prepare for the play and the songs and the dances. Right now, we've got to ready ourselves for winter. It feels harsher than it ever has.
Papa, can I help?
You're too small to do almost anything, girl.
No, I know I could do something. Mama showed me how to dry the seeds. I can tell the wheat from the rye, Papa. Please, let me dry the seeds out. I can do it.
Well, if you think you can.
Her father's mood had been so dark since his wife had died. He took the jar that he had the seeds in and held up Jama's hand and poured the seeds into them.
Now, you be careful with these, girl.
I will, Papa. I can put them on the mantle where they'll dry best, and I know one from the other. And after she'd put up a few dozen of them, the door flung open, and the wind, like a vicious hand, it came swirling through the house. It grabbed the seeds off the mantle, scattered them around, and as if laughing, sprang right back out the door.
Girl, I told you to be careful with the door and to shut it tight.
I thought I did, Papa.
You're not your mother.
I know. But it was the very next day, when Jama was in the barn with the animals. Well, if her brothers wouldn't let her be the tail of the dragon, she had other plans. Now, Cow, the bells look very good on your hooves. Now, you remember, you'll do the dances that wake the earth. And Goat, bad stuff. Yes, you'll be the evil dragon. You are bad stuff. Remember, you have to threaten me. I am going to be the hero, St. George. And Chicken, you'll be the quack doctor. I know you're a chicken, but you must know how to quack like a doctor. That's right. Carry that little pill in your beak, and then you pretend to give it to me after I've died, okay?
Mostly difficult.
Cal, you'll be a wonderful dancer. I just know it. Man, stuff. You're going to be the best.
Jama, girl, the neighbors will think you're daft. Now come in there from playing with the beasts and let's get the house ready. The winter's coming on fast.
And the winter was coming on fast. Faster and harder and colder than it ever had. Her papa had his sons doing everything to prepare the house and the farm.
We need more cord than ever. Pile it high, lads. And go out there and stake the fence so that she stays in tight.
What can I do, Papa?
Go down to the root cellar, girl. Make sure the turnips, the potatoes, the cabbage, they're packaged, that there's no extra moisture or they'll rot.
I can do it, Papa. But the wind laughed at everything they did. The wind took sticks and flung them against the house. The wind pushed over the piles, the huge piles of wood that they had created. The wind pulled the fence out, and the earth grew cold, colder than anyone remembered. People went out less and less, and as the days grew shorter, Jema was sure, don't worry, the unicorn will come to the mouth of its cave and kick these winds away, I know it. But the wind, it laughed. It laughed brutally. I chill the night. I kill the leaf. I freeze the earth. I stop belief. And night after night, as they grew longer and harder, Jema listened to the wind beat against the walls and the roof. And her brothers and father started to sit by the fire. They went out less and less. They stopped practicing the play of St. George and the Dragon. They didn't. Aren't you going to do your dancing? With the bells on your ankles? And sing the songs that warm the air and those dances to wake the earth? After we're warm. But Jema noticed that nobody was caring for the animals. Isn't anybody going to go out and feed the beasts? Hey, the girl doesn't know it. We can hardly feed ourselves. And the days grew shorter than they had ever gotten. And the nights longer. And when it should have reversed, and when the days should have started to get longer, the unicorn didn't come to the mouth of its cave. And no one went to the center of town, and the dances weren't done, and the play was not conducted. And Jema said, doesn't anybody believe that the unicorn will kick? And thinking about her friends freezing out in that barn, the mountain much too quiet, and that wind, she knew what she had to do. Tomorrow, I'll climb that mountain myself. And unicorn, I'll help you. And together, we'll bring the spring. And that is part one of the legend of Unicorn Mountain. Now, I have a favor to ask from you. Stories, they make pictures in your head. If you would like to let us see some of those pictures, you could put them on paper and send them in to us. Any picture that story made in your head, and we'll decorate the studio with them next week. You have to get them in the mail pretty fast because our next show is in just 1 week, but we'll look at your pictures and stories. I would love any stories that you create about the solstice. Imagine that you lived in a time when you didn't understand that the days would get longer again, and the nights would shrink, that the sun would come back, that you didn't understand how or why it happened. And it was up to you to bring the sun back. You can look in the curriculum, and it will give you suggestions of what to do and where to send it. And I thank you very much for joining us on Wake Up, Son.